Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. Nagpapasalamat po. Thanking you and really happy you're joining us on this Monday morning, May 8, 2023. Thank you to all of you who are Cignal TV subscribers and viewers here on One News channels 8 and 250. And of course, maraming salamat. Thank you to our friends, kababayans, and viewers who catch us on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you to PLDT Home Fiber Optic Internet that keeps us connected out here in Lipa City, Batangas. May nagtanong kahapon, where exactly in Lipa are you? Well, we are in Barangay Inusluban. Okay, napapaligiran ng libo-libong manukan. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. And today we are going to have a very interesting program, a start to the week. We start light and entertaining, but later part of the program, the topic gets serious. Why? Because the first part, we're going to be talking about a special concert that's happening this week, and it is a concert that benefit adult onset leukemia. And the artist that will be performing, favorite ng napakarami. After that, we will tackle the topic regarding suggestions. Suggestions pa lang naman right now, but apparently it's up for serious discussion. The proposal that all graduates of medicine, nursing, and allied medical services, therapists, etc., will be required to first render 1 year of work in the Philippines before they are allowed to go abroad. So dun sa maraming mga nurses who want to go to Germany, to Canada, to Europe, etc., I mean, other parts of Europe, I mean, if this proposal takes off, then you cannot go from graduation to immigration. Hindi po pwede. You will be required to stay in the Philippines and work for at least 1 year. Pero mainit pong usapan yan, I'm sure. At before we get to that, let's get on with our daily starter. And the daily starter for today comes out of my column that I wrote today in the Philippine Star, because there are people, if you do something, you have a project, you have an idea, you've set a goal, there are people who will tell you, hey, what about this? What about that? Paano na if that happens, etc., etc. It's like they start bringing up concerns that's not even there. Kumbaga, you have not even started, it's just an idea, and already people or certain individuals are throwing potential obstacles, worries, concerns in front of you. And today's daily starter, which I wrote in my column Cito in the Philippine Star today, tomorrow is another day that should not rob you of today. Iba po yan dun sa sinasabi ni Lord, ni Christ, na the evil, tomorrow's evil is sufficient unto itself. Iba po yun, no? Ito, tomorrow is another day that should not rob you of today. Meaning, you enjoy what you're doing. Be excited about what you're doing today. Just look forward to everything that you are doing in your current concern or project, and don't let other people rob you of that satisfaction, that excitement, that energy. Okay, Gab, thank you very much for that, because there are people who just lose sight of their goal simply because people started saying, hey, pag-aralan mo yung ganito, yung ganyan, etc. You have to worry about logistics, etc. You know, just enjoy the moment, as they say. Be in the moment. Yun yun. Okay, so again, I wrote for tomorrow is another day. Is another day that should not rob you of today. Let's now go to the today's edition of the Philippine Star, May 8, 2023, and the headline goes, Faith of 953, quote, resigned, unquote, cops known today. In or out, the fate of 953 police generals and colonels who tendered their courtesy resignation will be known today as Interior and Local Government Secretary Benhar Abalos releases the results of the review process to cleanse the Philippine National Police of top-ranked scalawags in uniform. Okay, so that's the headline. And for those of you who may not know, President Bongbong Marcos already accepted the voluntary resignation of two one-star generals, okay, who were implicated or have been suspected of involvement, links, or whatever daw regarding drugs. Okay. At the top of the front page, please pay attention to this. The header of the Philippine Star, according to the Octa Research Group, Philippine COVID positivity rate rises to 19.3%. Okay, so we have been talking about that since last week, and I read in today's inside pages of that story that apparently reportedly 9 people have died. So yung mga tao sa inyo, if there are some of you who think that, oh, it's so mild, it's all right, well, it wasn't all right for 9 people who died in the past weeks or so. And whatever the reason or complications may be, do not take COVID lightly. And it is reported that this increase in positivity will peak sometime next week or this week or next week. So, ayan po, mag-ingat po kayo. People I know have started wearing face masks, and please be aware. Okay. Big photo there in the top of the front page of the Philippine Star. If you would, Gab, members of the obstacle course racing team with Philippine Sports Commission Chairman Richard Bachman and OCR Federation Attorney Al Agra celebrate their sweep of all 4 events to emerge as the most productive Philippine crew so far in the 32nd Southeast Asian Games in Phnom Penh, Cambodia yesterday. The inset or the smaller photo shows the men's team in white in action versus the Malaysian rivals in the final relay. Yun po. So congratulations to the Philippine team. Meanwhile, Senate bill filed institutionalizing 4PH housing, pushing his advocacy to remedy the country's housing deficiency. Senator Bongo has filed the bill institutionalizing the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Filipino or 4PH program, which aims to build 6 million housing units by the end of President Marcos's term in 2028. GO intends to ensure that the 4PH program led by the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development provides affordable and decent housing, particularly those in need. Okay, so good. We hope the law or the proposal turns into reality. Okay. Now, if you are a motorcycle rider or a motorist, this is something that we should all pay attention to. The Highway Patrol Group or HPG records 4,000 motorcycle crashes since January. So, 5 months, naka 4,000 motorcycle crashes that have been actually reported and recorded. Hindi po kasama dyan yung mga semplang na hindi naman nare-report or nagkasabit-sabit. A transport group advocate has blamed faulty design and outdated policies for road accidents that resulted in at least 4,000 motorcycle crashes in the first 4 months of 2023 as reported by the Philippine National Highway Patrol Group. Okay. Now, further on to the other side, we have a photo of the European Ambassador Luc Veron joining other envoys from EU member states during the celebration of Europe Day in Manila, Rizal Park, where the Rizal Monument was lit up in the EU colors last night. Below that, we have a story, Maynilad projects underway to boost water supply amid El Nino. Maynilad Water Services, Inc. said that various projects are underway to boost the water supply for its customers, particularly those in Las Piñas, Parañaque City, and minimize the impact of El Nino phenomenon. Okay, so ayan, they are going to augment with 8 deep wells for sourcing of water. LPA of Palawan exits, new one enters Philippine area. Okay, last week we said that a low pressure area was lingering off Palawan, but it has now left the country, but a new one has entered. So parang nagpalitan lang sila, para silang tag team. Farmers Group warns versus new fertilizer scam. The Farmers Group, Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG yesterday warned of another fertilizer scam after the Department of Agriculture, DA, issued Memorandum Order 32 mandating the distribution of biofertilizers. SINAG head Rosendo So urged President Marcos to immediately revoke MO or Memorandum Order 32 issued by Undersecretary for Rice Development Leocadio Sebastian. Okay, and he in his letter so stressed that the basis for the memorandum was flawed because the cost of urea is now only at 1,100 per bag compared to the 2,000 per bag price for biofertilizer. Ayan po. So, nako, ayan na. Kanya-kanyang debate na yan. And speaking of debates or arguments, Transport Group seeks probe of LTO contractor. While efforts are being made to address the problems regarding driver's licenses, a transport group is urging Congress to investigate a contractor of the Land Transportation Office for its unresolved issue in the implementation of a project. So, ayan po, pinaimbestigahan nila yung German contractor Dermalag. Pero careful because ito pong problema na ito of computers, etc. with the LTO, it has been a long-standing tug of war between two corporations and their allies. Okay. And last but not the least, You Have the Power kicks off at SM South Mall, SM Prime Holdings Inc., and the youth joined forces with the Department of Energy, Presidential Communications Office, and U.S. Agency for International Development for the You Have the Power Energy Conservation Campaign. Ayan, okay. So that's all news we have on the Philippine Star. Oh, anyari. Bakit nawala? Okay, that's all we have for the Philippine Star. And please do read the copy. And if you would, whether online or the physical copy, also please read my column today. It is about the blessing of the chicken meal, okay? Because I'm giving lessons on how to do projects, etc. Not how to raise chickens, but how to visualize, or how to carry on with the goal, how to stay focused, and not to be distracted or discouraged by other people, and at the end, to always be a blessing to others. Speaking of blessing, let's now go to our first interview. Gab, if you would, please roll out the Betamax.
Dr. Erlyn Demerre is the founder and chairman of the EPCALM Adult Leukemia Foundation of the Philippines. This is a non-profit organization called to reach out and help victims of leukemia and their families.
Okay, Dr. Erlyn Demerre, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, Cito.
Okay, and thank you for joining us, because I learned from my good friend Sunny Koo that your foundation or your organization has been blessed to host a special concert this Thursday at SM Aura. Hindi ko sasabihin gustong-gusto ko yung music nung kakanta, pero hindi ko naunahan. Dr. Erlyn, could you please tell us what's going to be happening this Thursday at SM Aura?
Yeah, it's going to be happening at SM Aura Samsung Hall this Thursday. After the pandemic and the hopelessness of the pandemic, we are holding again a concert for the benefit of the Hope Fund of EPCALM Adult Leukemia Foundation. And we will be featuring, our main performer will be no other than the concert king, Martin Rivera, who is our EPCALM Goodwill Ambassador and who has really dubbed himself as the in-house singer of the foundation. So it's on Thursday, May 11, 8 p.m. at the Samsung Hall of SM Aura premiere.
Okay, what time is the concert? And meron pa bang tickets? Kasi alam mo naman, pag Martin Rivera, naubos lagi tickets eh.
Yeah, that's true. And aside from Martin, Pops Fernandez and Kule Desma will join him on stage. So it's really going to be a very special evening. There are still tickets available. So if you can go to SM Tickets, you can get your tickets and just join us. It's going to be a memorable evening because, Cito, it's not just about the concert. It's not just about Martin, Pops, and Koo. It's really about igniting the spirit of helping others, because it's better to be the ones helping than to be the ones helped. So this is just the message that we want to convey to the Filipinos, that even as we mount up a limited number of activities, like this concert will house only like 9,000 to 1,000 attendees. We hope to reach out to a lot of people through you, through the social media, through whatever platform, just to inform our kababayans that if you're healthy, you please thank God for that and help others. And if you are sick, especially if it's blood cancer, leukemia among the blood cancers, there is always hope. And EPCALM, my dear Cito, is here to just share hope, to help patients journey with their disease and making them see that it's really God who heals.
Okay, how did you manage to get all of these celebrities, all of these stars to line up, to align with your organization to come up with this concert? Because, when I got the material, I was saying, sino kaya sa kanila ang naging victim or has a personal encounter with adult leukemia?
None of them had a personal encounter with leukemia, none in their families. And it's just I who had a family member who succumbed to leukemia 18 years ago. And, when God drops a vision in your hands, it really works. So for over 18 years, he has brought us people who would want to help, just volunteer their time, their talents. And amazing. It's really amazing, Cito, because when my brother died in 2005, and I felt that there was a need for an adult leukemia foundation, because through our 2-year journey, there was no support. And as a leukemia family, you really need support. So I felt that, and I tried to look for foundations, wala talaga. And when that vision was dropped in my hands, I said, Lord, parang hindi ko kaya yan. I'm a cardiologist, and that's hematology, that's blood cancer, that's leukemia. And I don't really know a lot of people. I'm not from Manila, and I'm just here as a doctor and a small family. And clearly, he just told me, just build it, and I will send the people. And so to answer your question, God has been faithful in sending all these celebrities so that they can open their public space to share the advocacy of EPCALM. And
so you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to be a patient to have a reason to help. And Martin Rivera, Pops Fernandez, Cool Ledesma. Was that Michael V that I saw in the video?
Yes.
Boy Abunda.
Boy Abunda. Yeah, these are people who just were brought to me by the Lord. Yeah, they became one way or another connected to me by their own medical needs. And that's it. So it's amazing how they have really caught on the vision to help others.
So who's producing this event? Because, I mean, the doctor, running a clinic versus producing and staging a concert, medyo magastos yung concert, ha? You have to get the venue, you have to pay the talents, the musicians, the light people, the sound, etc. How did this come about, and who's behind it?
Yeah, that's the reality. Of course, it's expensive. It's a big production, but without the help of Sunny Koo and the team around EPCALM, I don't think this will be really possible. So Sunny Koo is our EPCALM director for resource mobilization. So he mounts up events for us, and with all his connections, we're building up, and we get a lot of generous donors as well, and we have talents like Martin Koo and Pops who just offer their talents pro bono. And so it's amazing that things just happen. And when people out there support by watching and buying tickets, then that will really help the foundation, with the production cost, as well as really have something in our coffers for.
So this all the proceeds go to your foundation, and to supporting the patients or victims of adult onset leukemia.
Yes, Cito. This will, everything that we get from the fundraising, not just for this concert, but all other fundraising events that we do, is all the funds will go to the Hope Fund, we call, which will serve the many patients that we have all over the country already. Because over 18 years, we have kind of made people aware that there is a foundation. It's the first and only in the country. And leukemia is number 4. It's a number 4 or 5 cancer killer from the DOH statistics. So I thought it was rare, but now there's a lot of leukemia patients needing support. We might not be able to give them full medical support because that's really gonna drain any foundation. Kaya siguro, Cito, walang foundation ng leukemia before we started this, eh.
Well, but Dr. Erlyn, ladies and gentlemen, coincidentally, as Dr. Erlyn mentioned, it is expensive, it drains finances. Very recently, about approximately a month ago, if a little more, a very, very dear and close friend of mine, had adult onset leukemia. Akala niya ubo lang, allergy, kinakati ang lalamunan, and then he started having fevers. And simply just by a coincidental blood test, they got flags, and then they went for a deep testing and determined that he had adult onset leukemia. And saying that it drains finances, ladies and gentlemen, is an understatement. My friend had to spend weeks on weeks on weeks in the hospital in isolation as he was being checked, probed, and then treated, because your defenses really go down as you go undertake the chemo, the radiation, etc., or whatever process there was. And sabi ko, alam mo, mabuti na lang may natabigang pera sa buhay, because he was really hardworking person. So that I know now from all the conversations that it puts not just a hole, but tears your wallet to pieces when you have to pay hospital bills, medicines, etc. Now, all of this money will go to the foundation. How does the foundation in turn distribute whatever funds you're able to raise?
Yeah, we have three arms of service, Cito. So the financial arm is the one that brings in the money into the coffers, right, through all these events. Then we have the spiritual arm that tries to handle the emotional, psychosocial, and spiritual health of the patients. And we see that it's very important if they are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually healthy, their physical health also follows, right? So the spiritual arm, we have a lot of activities like we do family huddles regularly. So we gather these patients. It becomes a happy place for them, a safe place for them where they can exchange views. So the money also goes to help the spiritual arm. We send out regular hope packs, which are really full of what is necessary for their home. And it's amazing that this underprivileged group, ito naman talaga yung nare-reach out natin, you know, and they're so happy that sometimes when the hope pack comes with some kilos of rice and food, they just, you know, it is a manna from heaven because wala talaga kaming pagkain ngayon. So it's really reaching out to the whole body, not and the soul of the patients. And then we have the medical arm, and this medical arm we are now offering free consultations and for patients who get confused about all the treatments that they have to do. But we respect na meron naman talaga silang hematologist on board, but we try to address yung mga tanong nila na hindi nila kayang matanong, nakalimutang itanong, okay? So guided advice, and hopefully we can even send them abroad because we have a connection with the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. And also we try to give free medicines for them, their chemo drugs. So this is the bulk of where the funds go when these patients have to be given a course of chemotherapy. Again, we cannot just say, okay, we can give the entire course of chemotherapy for you because, as you said, Cito, the reality is ang mahal, no? But very
well, let's now I think we've got everything covered, Dr. Erlyn, and I think the best thing for me to do right now is end the interview and for Gab to run the invitation video from all the performers. Thank you very much, Dr. Erlyn, and I do hope that it's a blockbuster concert. But I will see if we have the video or even if yung bang talking heads ay nagsasalita talaga. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Cito. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. God bless.
Okay, yan si Dr. Erlyn Demerre, founder EPCALM or EPCALM Adult Leukemia Foundation of the Philippines. So, Gab, walang audio yung ating video. Is that correct? Okay, please play for the one of Martin. Okay.
Hey everybody, it's Martin Rivera reminding all of you on May 11th at the Samsung Hall at SM Aura, we have a benefit show for EPCALM, my family and friends from EPCALM, as we share their passion to help leukemia victims and their families go through this very important journey. We have to let them know that they're not alone and they've got help and guidance thanks to EPCALM. So every cent that we make for this particular show on May 11th at the Samsung Hall, SM Aura, will go to the leukemia victims and their families as they go through this very important journey. And with me will be Kula Desma and the concert queen, Pops Fernandez. We'll see you May 11, Samsung Hall, SM Aura. Let's make a difference in someone's life. Help me, help my friends from EPCALM. See you there.
Okay, and thank you, Martin. And I do hope that our viewers, especially those in the Metro Manila area, will make time, make the effort, and just enjoy yourselves while buying the ticket. You don't have to go out of your way. You're actually giving yourself a break and helping others, or helping EPCALM help others. Okay, let's go for a break. When we return, we will tackle the more serious, well, not the more, but an equally serious concern, the proposal of mandatory 1 year of residency service in the Philippines for medical, ano nangyari sa video ninyo, medical practitioners and nurses. We'll be right back after the break. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda, and please bear with us kung biglang na 1/4 frame yung mukha ni Kuya Cito, because that's the technical issues with Zoom. Okay, there are funny things about Zoom meets and broadcasts. But hey, we're all okay. So let's go to the next topic, and the next topic is about newly inducted members of the health workforce may have to work in the country for at least a year, okay, before they can be allowed to leave for employment abroad. The Department of Health Officer in charge, Maria Rosario Vergere, has said, Malasakit and Bayanihan Party List Representative Anthony Rolando Goles Jr. filed House Bill number 6232, also known as the Mandatory Medical Service Bill, aimed to address the shortage of healthcare workers in the Philippines. Rumor has it, wala po ito sa dyaryo, rumor has it that Party List Congressman Goles or a certain Goles is supposed to be considered as a next Secretary of Health. But nowadays, alam niyo po, hindi tayo pwedeng magsabing balita, rumor, kasi ang daming nagpapalutang ng sarili nila. So, mabuti na yung sigurado. But anyway, let's tackle the issue of mandatory one-year residence service for graduates. Let's bring in our friend, but intro muna tayo. Gab, please intro our friend.
Dr. Maricar Limpin is the former president of the Philippine College of Physicians. She also heads the steering committee at the Philippine Coalition on the Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases.
Doc Maricar, welcome back to the program.
Yes, good morning, Cito, and good morning to everyone.
Okay, the topic is the mandatory or the proposed mandatory one-year residency and service for graduates of the health workers. What say you on the proposal?
Well, it depends actually on what the objective is. So maybe the objective is to fill in some of the gaps that we have as far as the problem on healthcare workforce. No? In particular, probably the lack of nurses, no, which is actually being felt But I think if that will be the case, then maybe, 1 year service in the country is not too much to ask for our graduates of nursing curriculum, so that our problem when it comes to the lack of nurses will actually be met. No, but I think this kind of a program is just a stopgap measure. No, this is a short-term solution. But I think we need to really have a long-term plan in order to really address the problem of the lack of nurses in the country.
What long-term plan are you talking about? Because, the only long-term plan that everybody talks about now to solve the problem is to increase the salary of nurses from 33,000 in private hospitals and 33,000 in public hospitals and 15,000 in private hospitals to a fixed rate for all of 50,000. Is that the long-term plan you're talking about, or is there something else?
Well, that can actually be part of the long-term plan, but I think we need also to put in some other measures, like what other benefits can the healthcare workers get, from serving in the country. And I think that these benefits should be a benefit that they can get whether they are employed in government sector or in the private sector.
Do you feel that there should only be one salary rate kumbaga, both for private and government, because I think that's also part of the problem, that if you work in private, you get paid half the rate, and the government in turn can't afford to hire everyone in the first place.
I'm just not sure, no? I think it will all depend on what the private sector can afford to pay. But I think that it is high time that the private sector should really think about, increasing the salaries of our nurses and the other healthcare workers as well. Cito, we're not just talking about nurses here when it comes to the salaries. You have to realize that if you increase the salary of the nurses, then it also follows that you have to increase the other healthcare workers. No, it cannot be just limited to the nurses. You need to make sure that the salaries for, like, let us say, the medical technologies, the respiratory therapies, and even our very own doctors, no, all of them really had to have a higher pay. In even the doctors in the private sector, particularly our younger colleagues, no, they receive very few, very small amount of remuneration, and I think that we need to really address this particular issue, which is actually a very important issue, as it is something that is close to the, should I say, malapit yan sa sikmura. No? So, I think that it is understandable that the healthcare workers, in whatever field it may be, the medical field, the nursing, the medtechs, no, they need to receive more because they are serving the people also. For every second, for every minute that they are there, there is really a risk, not that they have to face, and I think that we need to pay them well enough so that we at least we will be competitive with that of the other countries hiring them.
Is there or has there been a study, research, surveys, interviews conducted to determine what sort of a package would be good enough, not just monetary, but what sort of a mixed bag of offerings can be given to all our health workers that will encourage people to work for the DOH or the public hospitals, etc. Because as I listened to you, I was thinking, bakit sila, ilan ba sila? Hindi ba natin sila pwedeng bigyan tax-free or 50% income tax lang, or can we give them, can we guarantee that they have housing, free housing? Are they given free transport passes? Kasi napapansin ko yan, especially during COVID, pag pinakita mong doktor ka, sige lang sir, sige na, diretso na kayo, but ngayon wala nang pandemic, parang you pay.
Yeah, right. No, I don't think that there has been any study conducted looking into the other benefits that can be given to healthcare workers, no, not just in terms of increasing the salaries, but maybe, as you said, other fringe benefits that we can get, so that if on top of this, on top of the salary, then maybe it can be worthwhile for them to stay in the country, to make them stay in the country. So I think kailangan government should think about this and really look into how, kaya nga sinasabi ko sa iyo yung 1 year na extension, after their studies to serve the country can be a short-term measure, to address the current problem that we have, pero we need to have a longer plan, and that means that you need to really look into the factors that can lead to a more effective retention of healthcare workers.
Yeah, Doctora, what are you and your colleagues? Because you're in the leadership level or already. Kumbaga, mga senior division na tayo, Now, but what are your associates saying? Because if I'm sure that if Congressman Goles's proposal, yung kanyang House Bill 6232 ay nilabas diyan sa Congress, magkakasigawan because I know that I always thought that doctors do their internship, maiksi lang, 3 years pala yung internship after they take the board. Pagkatapos, nurses, I have we are supporting a nursing student. Second year, meron na silang trial internship. Pagkatapos, third year, mag-internship sila, etc. And these are not paid in many cases in the Philippines. Some people actually have to pay out just to become interns in institutions that are branded or kinikilala. So baka sabihin naman sa atin ng mga estudyante at magulang, teka, nagbayad na nga ako pag-aralin yung anak ko, nagsilbi ng libre yung anak ko, or my child has been an intern working in a hospital for free or slave wages, and now you're going to tell us that we have to stay 1 more year with no choice. What are your associates' reaction to this?
Actually, ang sa amin kasi, like let us say, as far as the doctors are concerned, again, we need to look into what is the objective of the proposal. No? Kaya ang sinasabi ko, the lack of nurses, yun yung very clear sa ngayon that all hospitals are actually facing. Pero as far as doctors are concerned, we really do not see that there is a lack of doctors. What the main problem actually is the maldistribution of the doctors. So on that end, kami naman, we are now trying to look into, like let us say, if we accept them for training in internal medicine, no, as possible members of the PCP, ang ginagawa naman namin ay tinitignan na namin kung saan ang magiging practice niya. Okay, and we make sure that after they have graduated from the training, they go back, no, doon sa lugar na dapat na sinabihan nila na magpa-practice sila. So like let us say, and also, we are also now looking into hospitals, no, na ine-encourage namin na magkaroon ng training program in places na kailangan nila ng doktor. Para sa ganon, yung mga doktor doon do not have to come here to Manila to be trained. No, doon na sila sa kanilang lugar to ensure na mas mataas yung chance that they will actually be serving yung area na kung saan sila naroroon.
Yeah,
no?
Doctora Maricar, just a question, because alam mo naman, fan mo ko so I listen to everything you're saying. But, it just occurred to me, sasweldohan ko yung nurse ng 15,000. Yung maid, houseboy, security guards, they get paid 12,000. Tapos, yung nurse, babayaran mo ng 15 or 33,000, mamamasahe, magte-10 to 12-hour shift, bibili ng uniforme nila or ng mga gamit nila, etc. Has anybody ever studied the economy of being a medical worker, whether you're a medtech, nurse, therapist, etc. Kasi may requirement na uniforme. And they pay for that. They pay for their transportation, their food. And you kind of wonder what's left of that small salary, considering like security guards, police, etc. They're exposed to diseases. Kasi parang tinitipid kasi hindi makapalag.
Yes, tama ka dyan, Cito. That's why, importante nga, the long-term plan is really to make sure na ang mga hospital, no, whoever they may be, it can be in the private or the government sector, magbigay ng sweldo na appropriate para doon sa healthcare workers, no? So right now, yung mga nurses natin probably earning 33, 35,000. Sana medyo tumaas-taas pa with some additional benefits, no, to make the remuneration, yung matatanggap nila, a little bit more competitive doon sa makukuha nila when they go to the other countries. Kasi yun yung kailangan natin tignan eh. And even for our respiratory therapies, yung mga medtechs natin, yung mga PTs natin, no? Pag tinignan mo talaga sweldo nila, mas di hamak mababa kumpara mo doon sa ibang bansa. Kaya nga, ang lahat, nagkakaroon tayo ng brain drain eh, when it comes to healthcare workers. Even for the doctors, no? Kasi yung iba nagpupunta. Kasi, do you know how much salary is being received by resident, no, in the private sector? Minsan 18,000 lang yan. Can you imagine, doktor ito, Cito, and yet receiving only 18,000. Kaya kami sa PCP, halos sinasabi na namin doon sa mga ospital, you need to take care of your residents. Itaas nyo naman ang sweldo ng mga yan. So, yung iba na, medyo marami-rami na ngayong ospital, medyo nakapagtaas na nung sweldo ng mga residente. So, now, may mga there are actually some residents who are now receiving 25,000, 30,000. Pero it's still, kung titignan mo, this is much lower. Di ba? Ang laki nung liit, no, kumpara kung ikaw ay residente sa Amerika o kaya sa ibang bansa. Kaya nga nawawalan tayo ng mga doktor or nurses, no, kasi umaalis dito sa ating bansa because they are not receiving sufficient a salary that is sufficient enough for them to stay in the country.
Okay, and what about medical technicians, health workers, mga nurses, magkano nakukuha nila if a resident doctor gets 18,000? Because I know of one nursing graduate na inalagaan namin. He is now in Ireland. Thank God for that miracle. But I know he was being paid under below minimum. And on the night shift, and tiniis niyan for years. Sabi ko, tiisin mo lang yan, anak, hanggang makapasa ka ng board. Pag nakapasa ka na ng board exam, sige, hanap na tayo ng paglalagyan mo. But he managed to pass and go to Ireland, and I'm so proud of him. But, baka makapagmura ako dito, magalit si Lord sa akin, Maricar. Pero what about nurses and medtechs? What are they getting paid in real terms?
Definitely sa private sector mababa. They may be receiving 12,000, 15,000. So, sabi mo nga, ang isang security guard, 12,000, ano? So, driver ba yung sinabi mo kanina?
Security guard, 12,000. Driver, 12,000, 15,000.
Oo, ganun din lang ang nakukuha ng iba nating mga kasamahan na healthcare workers sa isang private institution. Kaya kailangan nga tingnan ng gobyerno kung ano yung pangapasweldo ng mga private sector, no? Kasi marami talaga ang medyo kawawa, no? Nagbibigay ng masyadong mababa na pay. Yung mga tao. Kaya nga ito yung isang malaking
Dr. Maricar, any particular solution or suggestion ng Philippine College of Physicians na must do, that the government and our legislators must do?
Well, I think number one, isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit hindi rin maiakyat ng mga private hospitals ang sweldo ng mga healthcare workers ay dahil din sa mga issues or problems nila when it comes to PhilHealth reimbursement. So, importante siguro part of the solution will be to ensure na nare-reimburse ng mabuti yung mga hospital, mapagobyerno man, pribado man, ano? Kasi unfortunately, we see mas malakas magreklamo yung mga private sector, so sila yung nauunang nababayaran.
So it all goes back to PhilHealth.
Yeah, kasi syempre,
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry, Dr. Maricar, but your
kasi
signal,
remember,
your signal is collapsing here on our side. We'll have to end our interview with you, Doktora. Sorry, nagko-collapse yung ating signal eh. But anyway, I think we covered it very well, and I'm sure this is only the beginning of the big fight. Thank you very much, Doktora Maricar Limpin, and God bless you. Okay, let's now go to the closing blessing for this week. It is from the book of Psalms, chapter 20, verse 4. May He give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed. This is the blessing prayer I pray for all of you, our viewers. Thank you for once again joining us on this Monday. Please include us in our prayer, the team agenda, and our families. God bless all of you. Keep it here on One News.